The plot is thickening when it comes to Celsius and clawbacks. Fact is, the Celsius Official Committee of Unsecured Creditors, or the UCC, is supposed to be representing us, the creditors of Celsius. However, it seems like they're only going after their own interests and after the interests of White and Case. White and Case, of course, the thugs who kicked me out of their building and sent people to my house to threaten me, are obviously the enemies here. However, the UCC has the power to overthrow them. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like if a child has an abusive father, the father is constantly hitting the kid over and over and over again. That's White and Case. However, the mom allows it. The mom doesn't take the kid out of the situation. The mom has the power to control what's going on with the abuse. White and Case, well, they're abusing us. And the UCC, they're letting it happen. Today, we're gonna hold them to task. Let's get it. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben, and today we're talking about Celsius, the UCC. We're calling people out, and we're gonna show you how you can actually help this process and stop these clawbacks. We're also looking at organizing some protests around White and Case. More about that in a later video. All right, so we've got the Celsius Creditor Committee says it will investigate conduct on Mashinsky and other insiders. This is from August 9th, so quite a while ago. And they sounded like they were real tough on crime. The official committee of unsecured creditors was appointed on July 27th, according to yesterday's statement. It's made up of 7 individuals and institutional representatives who lent funds through the platform. They are CarolineGwarren, Thomas DiFiore, ICBSolutions, aka Scott Duffy, Christopher.j.coco, Andrew Yoon, Mark Robinson, and Cavario AG. Now, we're going to come back to all of these names here in a bit. The committee's goal is to maximize the recoveries of account holders and unsecured creditors. It said in the statement, the committee intends to be a vigorous participant in the debtor's bankruptcy and put the interests of the debtor's account holders and unsecured creditors first. You're not doing that. That's a freaking lie. That is a lie from the UCC, an absolute lie. Then we have this. The group has hired White and Case, the law firm, as its counsel. Now, interesting, isn't it? If you go back here and you look at this statement, they want to put the interests of the debtors, account holders, and unsecured creditors first. What changed? What changed? What changed? The group has hired White and Case, the most corrupt law organization in the entire world. So this was put out just a few days ago. This is the official plan from the UCC. This is the Noble Wolf digital deal here. So we click on this. Now we could go through and read the entire deal. We don't really have time to do that at this point. Here you got some more information for these people. Greg Pesci, there he is. Aaron Kolodny in LA. So we've got Miami with Keith Wofford. We've got David Turetsky, which I don't know. Must have been real scared when I showed up at 1221 Avenue of the Americas. I wasn't scared when you sent the cops to my house, but whatever. We have all their email addresses here. So we're going to be organizing protests in New York, Miami, Chicago, and LA. We're getting this geared up right now. We're taking a look at it. But the important thing is to understand that when it comes to this deal from Noble Wolf, it's not 100% in stone yet. This thing is still a pending deal. So what does that mean? That means that Noble Wolf has some leverage. And I will tell you this, after going and meeting with Noble Wolf, I just don't think they're the bad guys here. I really don't. I think they may actually be trying to do something positive. Meanwhile, the UCC and White and Case, they are the enemies. All right, now we don't have time to go over the full 16-page document, but I do want to note this here. Footnote at bottom of page 11, anyone who withdrew everything or left less than $10 on the platform is not released from clawback, no matter how much or how little they withdrew. So let me explain to you what a clawback is. A clawback is supposed to protect users on the platform from insiders, people that worked at Celsius, who had inside information that they were insolvent, so they took their money off the platform as the ship was going down. However, many people saw the rumors circling around on Twitter and they removed their money because they were scared, exactly what you're supposed to do. And yet they're being punished. In addition, Now Voyager is talking about doing clawbacks. There's no limit to this. It's such an important case that we stop these from happening by applying pressure to each and every member of the UCC and to White & Case, and we are going to continue to put that pressure. So here we go, and they even talk about me putting pressure on them in this document. I can't wait to show you guys that. But the fact is, these clawbacks are morally wrong. This is like if you were in a flood and you got all the items out of your house because you saw the water was rising and you got everything to a boat, you took it to safety, and then the government comes in and says, your items should have still been in that house. You removed them because you saw danger. No, you're gonna have to give all those items back to the government. That's like what it's saying. It's absolutely ridiculous. So let's get into talking a little bit more about this document. This is page 14. The committee understands that people are worried about the potential of having to return a portion of their assets they withdrew ahead of the pause. I like how they capitalize pause, freaking idiots. But current creditors of Celsius have also had to live with the uncertain reality of the debtor's bankruptcy since last July without access to funds, unlike those who got out early. There are hundreds of thousands of potential preferences actions to sort out, and now is not the time to do so. Investigating each potential preference claim and litigating preference claims now will extend the timeline of these cases and increase costs. For most cases, it will likely not be economical to investigate or litigate the claims at the hourly rates charged by the firms engaged by the debtors in these cases. What does this mean? This means White & Case getting all the money. It means the lawyers are getting, guys, the lawyers are getting the freaking money. The people who did not get access to their funds, they're not winning here. The lawyers are winning. You're not gonna end up getting any more money back based on these retail clawbacks. Are going to take years to happen. You are looking at, not only are you looking at them having to try to take money back from people, you're looking at adding years to this litigation. There's no doubt about it. You ain't getting a dime from me. You ain't coming getting none of my money. So I don't even get, you ain't getting my money, Celsius. I'm gonna fight you tooth and nail just because I wanna spite you. That's what you're gonna get from me. 30, if any individual has questions about the facts related to their individual withdrawals and applicable defense, they should contact an attorney. It sounds kind of threatening, doesn't it? If anyone hears of people who may need additional help or may harm themselves or others, they should inform the United States trustee or other appropriate government authority. No, UCC, we're gonna put it in your freaking face. Every day, we're gonna put this in your face. Get ready. I can show you the DMs. We should do a video where I show you all the DMs I got about this, because you are not without fault. You are guilty. We're not reporting this stuff to a government agency. That's ridiculous. You need to feel the pain. White & Case needs to feel the pain and the repercussions of what you're doing to people, period. That's PERIODT, period. 31. Throughout the case, the committee's professionals and members have received emails, phone calls, and other messages from victims of the debtor's repetition conduct. Don't even know what that means. The committee and its professionals have done their best to read and answer each and every one of these messages as appropriate. You're about to get a lot of more mother-chucking messages. Those conversations are often not easy. Many people are now facing extreme hardship as a result of the debtor's repetition conduct. The committee has listened and, where possible, broker meetings with debtors to help ensure that those individuals are heard. The committee has also sought to engage directly with the account holders through town halls. Select account holders. So here we go, guys. Here we're going to get into where they are talking about moi. They're talking about your buddy, BitBoy Crypto, right here. Okay, it says, the committee has listened. The committee has also sought to engage directly. Unfortunately, the committee's efforts have, in certain circumstances, been twisted by loud voices that the committee suspects seek to further personal agendas. I don't have a personal agenda with you. I have a retail investor agenda with you, despicable people. That's what I have. There's no personal agenda here. I'm acting on the behalf of the people that you're effing. That's what I'm doing. The audacity of you to put me in this freaking document. And you know what? That's how you know we're being freaking heard. Guys, I know y'all are watching these videos. I know you are. We're coming hard for you. Hard. The hardest coming you've ever seen. They want to shield their substantial personal exposure or maximize individual claims at the expense of others. The expense of the lawyers. Recently, those efforts have resulted in threats to the committee co-chairs and its counsel, comments that certain individuals will confront the court, and incitement of threats and harassment by others. While some of these individuals purport to represent account holders, The committee has a fiduciary duty to all unsecured creditors and will not be intimidated from the fulfilling of that fiduciary duty. Speaking of fiduciary, all of this is coming from White & Case, guys. All of this is coming from them. Here's what they're saying. They're threatening me. They're literally threatening me to suppress this message. Who are we threatening? We are simply demanding representation. That's what we're doing. We are demanding representation, and you are not representing people's best interests, period. So let's get the list of the names. Every single one of these people must be contacted relentlessly. Let them know what you think. Let them know that they do not escape fault for ruining people's lives. Caroline Warren, email carolinegwarren@gmail.com. Thomas DiFiore, email tomdif@gmail.com. Scott Duffy for ICBSolutions, email ICBSolutions@proton.me. This guy's using a Proton email address, of course, because he's probably a scammer. Christopher.j.coco, email. If you're in love with the cocoa, make sure to email Christopher.j.coco. Christopher.j.coco@gmail.com. Email Andrew Yoon. Email celciusnbankruptcycase@gmail.com. Mark Robinson. Email markrobinson55@gmail.com. Keith Noyes for Cavario AG. Email brokerage@cavar.io. These are all of your members of the UCC. These are the people who are receiving blood money to screw you over. These are the people that are making backroom deals with White & Case about representation in the future. That's what I've been told has been going on. These people, they vote for you. They vote for themselves. These are the people that the pressure must be applied to stop these clawbacks, to stop the cram down. Let's get into them. Here we go. We got Caroline Warren. Here is Caroline. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet Caroline. There she is. Caroline Warren, @CarolineG.Warren on Twitter. Let's go ahead and make sure that we are following her today. There we go. We are following her now. That's the dog whistle. She's from Bozeman, Montana, and she wants to screw you. And she doesn't want to be known for it. She wants to stay real quiet. Well, sorry, Caroline. And of course, you guys know she also has a Medium account here. Find Caroline's Medium account here. About 2 followers. This obviously is a person who's very well connected with the pulse of crypto. Obviously, you see her gigantic social media involvement. You can see here on Twitter that she tweets about once a year, according to this. Here's Thomas DiFiore, of course, the Celsius UCC co-chair. Now, I've been told this is the devil. This is the guy right here who, you want to know who's the most responsible for these clawbacks? Who is the person who's probably going to end up making the decision that ends with some people committing suicide, losing all of their money, having to move out of their houses. This is the face. This is the guy, Thomas DiFiore, who is the most responsible for this. Now, there also are some rumors out there I would like to clear up about old Thomas. There are some rumors that he's been involved with the mafia. Well, in reality, there is a different Thomas DiFiore who is involved in the mafia, who's actually been arrested for mob activity. But this big boy here is soft as molasses. You know, he's not going to be doing anything of the such. He is living in Puerto Rico, so he's probably trying to hide something, as a lot of people do go to Puerto Rico to hide things. Not everybody, but Thomas, you can guarantee it. And you do see that this idiot who wants to basically exterminate Celsius users, you can see the fact that he at least owns that he's the co-chair. He's dumb enough to admit to it. Is this his biggest flex? It's probably going to end up being this guy's biggest downfall. But I'm dead serious. This is the guy that's the most responsible. Thomas DiFiore. He is the most responsible for these clawbacks. He has led the direction, from what I understand, to the other co-chair, which is Scott Duffy from ICBSolutions, and together they are pushing this. All the other members of the UCC, they are staying silent. They are not putting out statements on what's going on. Being complicit and going along with Scott and Thomas's plans, that doesn't free you from the burden of what's going to be happening with all the fallout from this debacle. And also, obviously, if these retail clawbacks go through, Nova Wolf is dead as a company. This company's dead. These clawbacks will be the straw that broke the camel's proverbial back. So at ICBSolutions, what is it? Well, here it is, 2994 Gratz Ridge Road, Grove City, Ohio. Contact. President is Scott Duffy, Scott P. Duffy. Now, what is this? Well, ICBSolutions is basically a type of financial firm. You can see here, they've got 6 employees. They have 1 location. Their revenue is $30,000 a year. That's a little strange, isn't it? $30,000 a year for a business that has 6 employees? Huh, that's interesting. Let's think about this for a second. If you got 6 employees and your revenue is $37,000 or $30,000, let's just say $30,000 even, that means each one of your employees gets paid $5,000 a year. And are you included in that, Scott? I'm not really sure. Let's check out Scott. Here's Scott Duffy. You can tell he's cool because he uses the Thug Life glasses. And he's wearing a kimono in front of some Japanese cherry blossoms, it looks like. So you know this guy is definitely really freaking cool. You can tell by how hard he tries. And this is this guy's username. You can't make this stuff up. At Silky D. That's not the kind of D we're all thinking you are there, Scott. So it's important to understand, check this out. Nowhere in his profile, by the way, does he have any kind of description, or does he include anything that says that he works or he is on the UCC. Now, this is why he does this. He has ICBSolutions as a cover to himself. So Scott here doesn't even want people to know who he is or what he does. He's moving a lot of things behind the scenes. I've talked to a lot of people that have conversations with him, and I can tell you that Scott and Thomas are the ones leading this charge. These need to be the 2 people that we basically highlight the most in this. Next, we have Christopher.j.coco. Here he is, 25 followers, Pulse of America here. Definitely in touch with a regular Celsius user, because none of these people will talk to the regular Celsius users. So thank you for doing this. But his account is locked. Now, what's interesting is that we know that this is the actual account because this account does follow Scott Duffy. We have confirmed that. So this is the account. These tweets are protected. Now, our guy, Greg Pessy, he had one of these locked accounts until we came after him on YouTube and Twitter, and he deleted his entire account. And I really think this goes to show here, guys, these people don't want to be contacted. They don't want to talk about this. Why are these the people representing us on the board when they do not want what's best for us and they don't communicate with us, and there's no way for you to even see their voice other than those email addresses? Don't forget to email these people. They are down below in the description. Then we have Andrew Yoon here. He is a he or him, so thanks for that. Appreciate you letting us know that, Andrew, which is good because he doesn't have a picture. Once again, a guy that doesn't want to be seen. And of course, his email address is celciusnbankruptcycase@gmail.com. He really doesn't want to be seen. And what's really sketchy about him, to be honest with you, is the fact that he's from Boyd's, Maryland. And if you know anything about Maryland, you know it's a super sketchy place. That's where AJ's from. You might get hit in the head by a passing BMX bike. But I digress. But if you come down here to his bio, you see, always enjoy making money and finding out how to make more. I previously ran many personal businesses in my early stages of life, starting an S-Corp to capitalize on early cryptocurrency markets through mining, but gravitated toward actively trading in the markets. This guy made all of his money early. He's got no reason to represent you. He probably doesn't even like the new crypto users. He probably thinks he's like some pretentious OG who is above the fray. This is why he's so. I want you to think about this, guys. These people that are representing us, it's so hard to find any information on them. What does that tell you? They shouldn't be the people representing us. Then we, of course, have this. Keith Noyes, he is the Chief Risk and Compliance Officer at Cavario. Now, some people may call Keith Clawback Keith #2. He's probably friends with Keith Wofford, if I were to guess, the original Clawback Keith. But notice here, he talks a lot about his expertise in the derivatives and crypto markets. His expertise in making people money in crypto. Expert, represents us. Cool, he's got 1,619 followers. Here we go. Check this out. Here's his company. Zug-based crypto prime broker DiFiore files for bankruptcy. The 35 employees were only informed about the fate of their employer shortly before Christmas. And I want to really narrow down here on this. This is exactly what he's doing to Celsius users. Right before Christmas, right before the bull run, right before you think you're going to be able to get your assets back, or you're going to be able to, keep the ones that you withdrew because you were smart. This is the kind of person that will fire all his employees right before Christmas. This is the type of person that Keith Noyes is, or Keith Noyes, excuse me. And not only that, but he claims to be an expert, and he went out of business and had to fire all his employees. So where's the expertise? Where's the confidence in this guy to represent our interests? Don't you think instead of having Keith, who is an unsuccessful crypto businessman, or Scott Duffy, the guy in charge of a company where the employees are paid $5,100 a year, very successful financial firm, very successful ICBSolutions, very successful. Guys, these people are freaking losers. That's who these people are that were selected. They're freaking losers. They don't even have successful businesses. Why would we want them representing us? It makes no sense. But not only that, we also have this. According to the insider, DiFiore has been burning about 500,000 Swiss francs in cash per month recently. Meanwhile, efforts to find a buyer for the company have failed. He couldn't even transition a company. He couldn't even get it bought. He was burning through money the same way Celsius is burning through our money with White & Case, with the lawyers. We got a lot more on Keith Wofford coming next week, by the way. We're gonna show you this guy's reputation is absolute trash. He has so many conflicts of interest, it's not even funny. And we will probably have a laugh about it because he's a funny looking guy. But regardless of that, these are people who should not be trusted with our stuff. They're unsuccessful business people. They laid all their people off before Christmas. And this is who's representing us. And this is why these people are shutting their mouths, because they know that they're not good representations. What's going on in the back rooms? What's going on in the deals? What's going on with corruption? Well, we just don't know that at this point. But I can guarantee you, if there are backroom deals being made, if there are representation deals being made, as I've seen speculated about, then you can guarantee we're gonna bloodhound sniff them out. We're gonna be looking for any influxes of cash to any of these people over the next several years. This is not over this week. Now, here's the thing. The call to action for this video, we need people emailing every single one of these people. We need to put this out on Twitter. We need to share it. We need to put this information out. It's gonna be in the descriptions. We need to overwhelm these people with sentiment to let them know what we as Celsius users think about their representation and think about what they're doing. And this is not a loud voice twisting the truth. This is a loud voice that's actually speaking the truth in a den full of liars. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.